Hi, it's me, OnlyFlo, and welcome to my first animated story. Today it's all about tabletops like D&D, The Dark Eye, or even Warhammer, cause me and my friends dived into that world for now almost 5 years, and with me as the forever DM, I kind of got addicted to create characters, storylines, and all that jazz. So I wanted to let you guys in on the most recent campaign that I have created and threw my players in. So buckle up and grab some snacks, cause this is gonna be a bumpy ride. So this is Celio, a homebrew setting that I have created. I also mixed two game systems together to keep my players on their toes and because we could not decide which one we should play. And it works for us, I guess. Celios has lost most of its magic power in an incident over centuries ago, and my players kind of need to figure out why. But speaking of players, let me introduce the four characters that we started with. First up, it's our Carly Flameheart, a Leonile, and she plays as a Blood Hunter, our own homebrew version on it, and multiclassed into Warlock. She grew up in Shivano, a desert kingdom of Celio, until a tragic incident happened. Her parents got executed to a certain ruler called Emporio Daimo, having a deep hate to the Leonal race. She fled to Talma, the swamp kingdom of our world, where she meets a lovely turtle called Beanie, that she gets to call her girlfriend. Along with Beanie, she swears revenge on the evil ruler, causing as little harm to the world and people around her in the process. Though not all is as it seems, as Kali's fighting a dark force inside her which sometimes gets the best of her. To introduce our next character, I'll quote the player when it comes to her name. Hoot hoot caw caw, better known in our group as Juniper. She's an Owlin Ranger that was born to love but forced to seek revenge. When she was 7, her village was raided by lizard folk. Ever since then, she might have a certain view towards them, but let's be fair, they did slaughter her entire family. After her escape, she was found by a cute half-elf who not only gave her a name he could pronounce, but also a purpose. Together, they lived happily ever after for more than 10 years, fighting enemies and embracing nature as well as each other. Until he was mysteriously murdered, that is. Her world came crashing down, and the only thing that keeps her going is finding out what happened and seeking revenge. Being as socially awkward as she is, having had basically only one person to talk to her entire life, does end up giving her a bit of a challenge though. Following up, it's the daddy of the group, Ether Lightbringer, an ace of a paladin from Cardina, the kingdom of faith and belief. He always describes himself as an old soul with a young heart, which he only shows to the people he trusts. Outside of his trusted circle, he rarely shows emotion, and rather negotiate or fight than dwell in them. If all goes down, he sticks to his guts and will do anything for what is right. Through the oath of vengeance he often comes across as aggressive and will strike first if he must. Being the quote sassy one of the group, he know how to lift the spirits though, with his childhood being uneventful and the only thrive he has is to beat his rival Claudia and to finish his last mission to be a fully token of a paladin in the eyes of his queens, he'll have his way, like my way or the highway. And finally, we have Alistair, or Devotion, a tiefling rogue from Telma, the most dangerous kingdom in Celio. Having to grow up in the harsh environment of Telma, known for murder, crime, and everything bad, he quickly learned not to trust anyone but his closest friend, his sister. Alistair, or as the few people close to him know him as, Devotion, would do anything for her which he is looking for. His favorite activity is drawing his dagger to the throat, to anyone or anything that stands in his path. He will have his way, one way or another, even if it means putting himself above everyone else. That's them. The starting four, and two will join in the adventure, but let's stop wasting time and get right in as all started in a small town called Stonawful. and like every beginning, fate brought them all at the same time to the same place. Kali was the first to arrive. She was sent by her girlfriend Beanie to investigate the disappearance of a very important potion ingredients, potatoes. Next, Alistair, who got a hint to the whereabouts of his sister, stopped in Stonawful to gain more intel. Juniper, still enraged of the recent death of her boyfriend, got a clue. A associate of the suspected murder was last seen here, so there was no other option than to investigate. And at last Ether was sent by his lady to also investigate the disappearance of the potatoes, as the town reached out to his church, and they deemed it a perfect final quest to be for him to become a member of the Paladins. So, real quick explanation of the plot. Snuffle was a reference to an old campaign and kind of this place where weird stone golems and potatoes could be found, since the land was blessed centuries ago, but recently the town was hit by some curse, and the potatoes started to disappear during the night, and shipments who left the town were found a couple of meters outside with giant holes in the wagons and the crew missing except for their clothes. Pretty creepy stuff, if you ask me. So, the mayor of the town, this guy right here, hired the monastery of Cardinal to look into that matter, and they sent Ether. Well, that's the information. We also started using a new fertilizer around the town, but that had nothing to do with it, right? So, with those not suspicious at all informations, Ether left the town hall of Stonawful and saw two strange people arguing, Juniper and Carly, who found each other and thought about not belonging to this place. As Ether joined the conversation, they do notice that Carly and Ether are here for the same reason, and suspected that this potato curse could also have to do something with Juniper's case, as it is very unlikely that two evil things would happen at the small town at the same time, right? Meanwhile, Alistair, who started as a lone wolf in the campaign, avoided the three, starting his own investigations, who also led him to the town hall. Till this point of the session, my players almost lost concentration as they could not stop making potato puns, and already split up the party, one trying to investigate the potato fields, the other using special interrogation methods to find out more. So, we started with a bigger group, Ether, Kali, and Juniper, who made their way to the fields and looked for clues. As the three arrived at the field, they start to roll for investigation, and Ether fails. Kali fails, and Juniper succeeds, as they find out that a lot of small vinish movement is on the ground, and the potatoes almost look like they have a small leg, arms, and a tiny face. Hard cut to Alistair, who was planning on interrogating the mayor his way, and stepped in on a conversation between the mayor and a hooded person. As Alistair tried to listen in, he could make out some interesting bits of information. The hooded person and a woman tried to blackmail the mayor, as they seemed to be partially responsible for the disappearance of the potatoes, and won 200 gold till the end of the week, or the so-called curse will grow worse. Then the hooded person left, and as Alistair sneaked into the room, "Hi, Samir. I think you have some explaining to do." We got our first dagger to the throat. "Who are you, and what was this conversation all about?"
Who are you, and why are you trying to threaten me?
Make me intimidation check.
Success. I am very impatient. He was a lizard folk named Peter. He didn't tell me his last name.
So, to sum it up, Peter approached the mayor a couple of weeks ago and promised him a fertilizer that would double the amount of potatoes they could harvest, for a giant amount of money. And now, a lot of potatoes are going missing, and delivery wagons are getting attacked. And Peter claims some amount of responsibility and wants more money to make sure that it'll stop. I don't care about that. Do you know anything about a woman called Oriana?
No, I've never heard about her.
Insight check. Success. He's not lying, and as Alistair pulls away his dagger, "Then you are useless to me,
And don't tell anybody about our conversation. I think you have noticed what I am capable of, right? He leaves the room and the town hall, and runs into the rest of the party, who wanted to question the mayor about the weird shape of the potatoes, as they get into an argument about the suspicious hooded person who left the place, and if he really is investigating something, why they should not work together. Sorry, I don't work with other people, so go out of the way.
Alistair, can you not be this dismissive when we clearly all have the same goal?
I will do whatever I want. Out of my way.
The conversation starts to escalate as Alistair hears about the potatoes and starts to demand to see them.
You want to see the potatoes? Here you go!
Carly throws the potato towards Alistair as it starts to move and attack him, and with the start of our first combat, we will end the first recap. And that's it. That's the first animated story. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. It took over a month in the making and a lot of my nerves, so I would appreciate a like, a comment. If you're not, you can subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video, I guess. So, bye!